I believe we are a go. Yes. Yes, we are. Okay. I need to do something real quick. That would be, I need to turn on my other computer, my old laptop, and basically watch my own stream. And the reason I'm doing that is because I don't have a second monitor right now. And the monitor I'm working on currently is a very old TV. Thankfully it's 1080p, but that's kind of where the good things end. It says 60 hertz on it, but it does not feel like 60 hertz. So, goodness. It is really weird. I haven't used my laptop in like a bajillion years. It's very weird typing on my laptop versus typing on my desktop, because the desktop, the keys on my keyboard are much, much closer together. So, gotta turn on the mouse there. Yeah, okay, let's go. Dude, man, the screen's so small. How was I ever able to see anything on this screen? Alright. We're gonna go to my YouTube. Going to go to my channel. Ah, there we are. Alright, and now I can properly spectate the chat. There we go. Perfect. Alright, now we're fully set up and ready to do what in all likelihood will be extremely boring terminal work, because what do I have to do on this ship? Well, there's two things, or I guess three things left. Three big things anyway. Big thing one, I have a lot of point defense guns to add, because it's got like 12 custom Gatling turrets on it, and so that's going to require installation and terminal work for all of them. Then I also have to do an interior. That might come later, if I'm being honest. I don't think I'm going to get it all done today. But an interior for this thing, because at the moment it's just a mess of pipes and empty space. And then three is, the third big one is that I've got to potentially design a new torpedo for this, because obviously the mod, the TO's Combat Tweaks mod is fantastic and I love it, but also I can't expect everyone to run a mod, and of course having my ships being completely garbage in vanilla combat is not a great option either. So even though they won't be having the help in terms of rebalancing weapons, like particularly the small railguns will just be kind of garbage without the tweaks. Because right now, with the way that TO handles railgun damage, they're on par with artillery in terms of damage, which is pretty good, pretty nice, and they recharge really fast, at the cost of a lot more power draw, of course. But without that, they aren't nearly as good. So this ship would be kind of drastically underarmed for its, well, anything. But Yeah, so I want it to have torpedoes in any case, not just the wonderful TO torpedo launchers.
Meteor storm inbound.
Yeah, I have damage turned off for the moment. I do have the custom turrets for all of the existing turrets on board hooked up. So those should all work. But, you know, there are, of course, things I need to do. So, let's start with getting a... Alright. Start by getting an RDC. Alright. So that's our RDC. And of course we need to rename it. We're just going to put that in RDC 0. All right, now all this stuff is going to get reset and renamed. Prefix name. Okay. And these are also going to get a group. All right. So now we've got our turret. Nice little dual turret. Oops. I'm gonna forget that I accidentally tapped it. Okay. Next step is locking the hinges after a slight bit of bumping to potentially realign it here. Ooh, too much, too much. That looks like about the right position. Perfect. All right. So now we've got our turret, and we're going to start. I wish we could just directly place them, but the way the hitboxes are in Space Engineers, nope. Thankfully, I do have a mod that adds these weld pads in, which are quite useful in this particular application. So we're going to have RDC 1 and 2 be our port and starboard sort of broadside defense. There. So this is going to be 2, I think. All right. Yeah, why not? Okay. So reset name RDC-2 space prefix. All right. Then of course we need to edit that. Get rid of that group. Okay, so that one's ready for installation. Let's get number 1 ready here. I don't know why I'm labeling a lot of this stuff, but like as in the back of the turret, I just when I designed the RDC turrets, I decided that they would have little labels on the back, and I'm just going to hold myself to that because it seems like a good idea. Now, granted with these, well, you can just check what the name is on these LCDs, but with these guys, since there's not really any access points because I've covered up the little orange bits, you can't really figure out which turret it is just by looking at a terminal. So having this little label on the back of the turret is useful for that, actually. So that's RDC 1 and 2, and I think we can just go ahead and install those. I'm going to get my little tug here. Alright, we've turned on the you can see there we've got a little override gyroscope on the back, which basically just locks me into an orientation, so that installing these is very, very easy. Like so. And now we ride. I said we ride. There we go. And then after this, of course, we're going to have to go through and hook up each one of these into their respective we're going to have to give them their own custom turrets, the controllers anyway. And then with that, it'll be ready to rock in terms of kinetic weaponry. It's not a missile. One sec, I actually need to grab a pen so I can mark off, know which one I'm on. 1 second. Grabbing a pen. There we are. Okay, new page at the notebook. Yep, perfect. All right, new page, RDCs. One and two. All right. I think so. 1 and 2 go across. I think that maybe 3 and 4 should be these ones here, maybe. Yeah, probably these ones. So, oh. Where is... Oh, oops. Did not save a copy of the RDC. Okay. I'm dumb. RDC. Should have just left it there instead of Control-Xing it, but that's... whatever. Okay. You know, leaving it as 1's probably fine. Of course, the hinge, locked, rotor, locked. All right. Yeah, and this should just be ready to plop right on. Right out of the box, basically. Bing, and bong. There we are. So this will be 3 and 4. We'll say that this one is 3, highly recommend the block renaming mod. Extremely useful for this kind of stuff. So 3 and 4 over here. Oops. There we go. And of course, I gotta switch this out, which I believe I did on the other one. Did I switch this out for 3? No, I didn't. Okay. All right, 3 and 4 ready for installation. We'll start with 4 because it's right here. There we go. All right, 4 is installed. And let's get 3 in. And okay, there's 3 installed. All right, so I can check 3 and 4 off. All right, let's do, there's another dual mount that we can do. I think as long as, oh yeah, we'll do 5, 6, and then 7, 8. And no, there's not really any rhyme or reason to the numbering currently. Okay. It's really just as long as each one has a number, I'm happy. All right. 5, 6. 7, 8 should be pretty easy here. 7 and 8. There. One of my phones did a buzzing. What is it? Ah, yes. Physics is just don't take damage. Good video. Although I do dislike spin to win generally, I cannot deny its effectiveness. I just prefer to play outside of that world. Alright, so 5. And 6. 6. And then we'll do 7, 8. Seven and 8. Oh, there we are. Missed the hitbox because I'm a bozo. Reset, prefix name, Gatling gun. There we are. All right. 5, 6, 7, 8 are ready for installation. And we appear to have no comments currently, but that's fine. Because, well, you know, well, I don't actually. All right. Alrighty, I think there. Alright. I think that's 5. Six. Seven. Eight. All right. That's nice. Five, 6, 7, 8. I think we have a total of 12, or maybe more, actually. So we've got 1 up here, so 8, 9, 10, 11, and then 12. So actually we only have 12, it looks like. That seems correct. Yeah, 12. Okay. So let's I suppose we'll just start with the 1 up here. So 9, number 9, right up here. So that'll be 9. And then we've got 10, which might actually be a little tricky to position. Just gotta start like up here. So 10, 11, and then 12 all the way down here. the way at the front. This thing's going to have a formidable point defense grid when I'm done with it. Alright, there's 12. Of course, we'll begin with number 9 here. 9. Okay, number 9's done. Oh, whoops. Okay, so, oh, good, stop moving. All right. Won't drift off into space. All right, 9. And then this one will be 10. And then 11 here. And then 12 over here. And we will basically have all those done in terms of their naming. All right, so that's all well and good. Let's get them installed. That's right, the little target cameras. Kind of funky, but whatever, they work. Yeah, these are wrong. I'll have to redo those. Because it ends up looking, sorry, it's a weird tangent, but these are like these sort of target cameras I made, and they end up looking really weird just because of the way that I built them. They should not be arranged like this, they should be arranged like this. Because that when you're looking up and down, and then you pan left and right, you sort of pan across in this weird, like, circle motion, rather than just panning up and down and clearly left and right. So basically what I need to do is I need to switch out, I need to reorient them vertically so they actually work. Yeah, a little bit of an oopsie on that one. Whoopsie daisy is, I believe, the best phrase I could use. Anyway, we're gonna get the rest of these RDCs installed first, starting with the errant little runaway here. Oh, overshot by a bit. This thing doesn't have a ton of thrust, but it doesn't really need it for the most part. love those weld pads, they're so good. Alright, now let's get the rest of these handled. Okay, so, yeah, we'll start with 11 up here. Easiest to get to. Okay, perfect, that one's in. So now this one's going to be slightly more complicated, because I'm going to basically have to angle it in. Just going to try and catch the very end of the Gatling guns here. There we go. I don't know if I've got the clearance for this. Let me... That's probably good enough. Oh, okay, that's not ideal. There we go. Alright, that one's in place. Only a small amount of finagling was required. Alright, now for number 12. And then we should have all 12 of the rotary defense cannons installed. Looking good. Pink. There we are. Alright. So, her ship's tertiary, I guess, point defense armament is complete. I need to now hook up all the turret controllers for it. And then we can start working on, I think next we'll go for probably manufacturing some new torpedoes for it, for the ship. And if you guys weren't here for the beginning of the stream, I'm using TO's combat tweaks, which means we can use these torpedo launchers, but of course I would like to make some more vanilla torpedoes that actually work. Just so that it doesn't completely flop in vanilla combat, which would be unfortunate, to say the least. So, yeah, I'm not entirely sure where I'm going to put the launch bays. Probably in the superstructure area up here, maybe. Maybe some side launchers out of the side of the superstructure along this line. Because you can see we've got a lot of empty space in here to work with, both for interior work and for other stuff. That's right. Can you actually... No, you actually can't extricate yourself from that. Interesting. Might have to move that one block further up. Anyway. Yeah, so you can see the inside of the ship is pretty hollow. There's a lot of internal thrust near the front here, just to keep the ship moving, schmoving. Because she's big. She's really big. I think 7 million plus kilograms, probably closer to 8 now. Pretty decent backwards thrust pack here, and of course a very heavy forward thrust pack all the way at the back here. You can see it's quite large. But yeah, so the work continues. I think it's time to Well, enough stalling. Let's get into the turret controller core. Here, this is where all the turret controllers for the assault cannons already live. There's 10 of them, as you can see, stacking up in this room. There are 12 of the offending party. I'm going to actually move the doors up so I can make the floor out of turret controllers as well. We're going to turn off mirror mode for this part of the build because I want to be able to put things properly. In this case, that means the armored doors for this room, like that. Alright, I think that's right. The upper side of this is sloped, so we're probably going to do the same thing for the bottom side here. This is just to protect it from shots coming in from the side, which are likely. Needless to say, I think. Looks like the collar comes up a little bit forward too, because there'll probably be an armored end cap on this room as well. Just because it's kind of a vital part of the ship. And it would be bad if all of your turrets stopped working simultaneously. And I think we're also going to just make this one of these blocks, so you have an actual floor to walk on, but it's still angled. Yeah, so like this. Yeah, like that. There we go. So, time to step into funny turret controller land. And let's begin by filling in the floor here. So we're going to say this is RDC 1. Actually, can you walk on the side of these? That might be better. One, two. You can kind of do it. Three. Four. Five. Because you need to be able to access all of them basically physically. At least that's the idea. And then 6, 7, 8, 9. 10. We should probably make this one angled. So, where are we at? Ten, 11, and then we'll put 12 right here. 12. All right, so let's begin. And let's actually begin on the other side of the room. Oh, actually that blocks off access to the middle one, so we can't put that there. That'll work. Okay. Yeah, because now you can access the one in the middle. All right. So. Let's start over here and go through them all here. Okay, so 1. Yeah, all right. We'll just reset all these names to 0 for now. just go through them one by one. Okay, so this is one. And azimuth. We're looking for RDC, advanced rotor 1. Bingo. We're looking for RDC hinge 1. There we are. Camera. I think it'll be top-mounted camera. RDC top-mounted camera. There we go. I don't think we're going to mess with these because it's unlikely you'll ever be controlling them manually. The camera's there because Shrug, I guess it needs one. So, on to the actual guns here. We're going to go to Gatling guns, RDC 1, add. Now that we've added that, we're also going to enable it, bump the radius up, meteors, rockets, large ships. Yeah, we'll leave that on too. Default weapons. Alright, and now it's time to do setup. Groups. RDC 1. Shoot on. Shoot off. Oh. Hello, Nickel Locumus. Good day. Oops. Sorry, I was looking at my other display here. Alright, so we're going to move on to number 2 now. Actually, we're going to also hide number 1. So, I'm going to mark that off on my list. Number 1 is complete. Moving on to number 2. We'll just say that's this one. Controller 2. We may as well do the setup actions while we're here. Here's the family just got home. Alright, those are in. Now, azimuth, we're going to go. This is just a lot of the same stuff over and over again. There we go, RDC hinge and RDC camera. There we are. Oh, yeah, I forgot to do this. Yeah, we're cranking those all the way up. I'll have to go back and do that to 1 real quick. Gatling 2. I should probably leave it on default for now. Okay, so we're gonna go fix 2 because we want this thing to be fast, for crying out loud. And we could probably just turn that back to default so it doesn't mess with any of our future bindings. Okay, so I want to 3, and we're gonna hide 2. Okay. On to 3. All right. Wish you could just put searches into this. Make things faster. Alright, advanced rotor 3. Hinge 3. Oops, wrong one. RDC hinge 3. There we go. Top mounted camera 3. Whoop. And then find our Gatlings. There's 3. A lot of busy work goes into making these things. But the results are quite cool, so it's worth it, totally. Let's see here. I think, yep, everything looks good. I'm gonna put that one off in the terminal and go to the other side. All right, now we've got 4. RDC4, shoot on, shoot off. RDC4. I'm gonna just say RDC a bajillion, quintillion times today. Assigned camera. RDC4, assigned hinge. RDC4. Bump our azimuth elevation. RDC4 Gatling guns. Enable AI. Boop a doop boop. Target rockets. Alright, 4's done. This is going, well, it's going alright. Oh yeah, we can still, okay good, we can still access the quick firing guns, okay. So that's 4, now we gotta get 5 here. Wait a minute. Oh, you know what? I'm a bozo. That's what. Yeah, okay, because that... I'm looking the wrong way. Okay, sorry. This is 5 here. This one here should be... Yep, it's empty. Okay. That one's 5. Got lost in my own stinking room. All right. Not particularly exciting, but we'll do a little test after this. Because it should look really, really cool when the ship opens up with its point defense. I'm kind of excited to see it because it's got a lot of turrets on it, so it should be able to handle pretty much any missile threat coming in pretty handily. So. You know, obviously we'll see, but I'll definitely give it a tough test, I think. But it should be able to handle most of this. This is where the real durability comes in. Is the ability to actually not get hit with missiles. It's not real durability, but you know what I mean. It's what's going to keep this ship alive at range when other ships die and explode. So, okay, 5's done. On to 6. we saying? Where was 6 going to be again? Okay, so let me reorient myself here. Okay, so 5. Or did I? Oh, I went the wrong way. Okay, well, whatever. Or did I? No, I didn't. I need to actually install some gravity in here so I don't forget which way is up. Okay, so 5 is here. No, it's 3. Sorry, this is 5. So then 6 is this one. This is a convoluted mess. Okay, 6. Dude, it's gonna be really funny when like one artillery comes in here and just destroys everything. Or like one rocket gets in and then they're like, why did it stop shooting all of a sudden? Why did all the turrets go dead? In reality, I should very likely be putting these, you know, underneath the turrets themselves, but I think that having them all together here makes for an easier time of actually protecting the turret controllers themselves meaningfully. I don't know. I've done it both ways. It seems to work fine. Both, really. I mean, heck, for the big ones, I have the turret controllers in the turrets themselves, so by the time the turret controller's gone, the turret is well and truly on its way out. Which is probably what I should have done with the other ones, but the other ones are smaller turrets, and I don't want to use small turret controllers. Anyway. Alright. There's Gatling gun 6. And then, oh, yep, gotta do the setup. 6. Shoot. No shoot. And then we hide it. There we go. Alright, so that was 6. And then I guess we'll go up 7, 8, 9. So this will be 7 then. 7. Bump our speeds, put in our aiming references, and target our rockets. All right, 7 is complete. And 8. Bump that. Do this. Shoot on. Wax on, wax off. Might go through and lower the angle deviation later on, but we'll see. Eight. All right, that one's done. Move on to 9, which should be this one. Maybe I should. Yeah, I should probably put on some music in the background. Yeah, let me see if I can get some music up here. It's not like, ooh, copyrighted. Oops. Oopsie daisy, there was a little mistake there. Okay. Right, music. Okay. Dude, I think my favorite channel for this kind of stuff is White Bat Audio. They make really great stuff, and they let creators use it. It's really cool. Highly recommend checking them out. Well, we could probably go. They've got some playlists too. Twitch safe music, dark synth, synthwave, chill synth. Sure. Okay. Yeah, let's do that. Gotta just set the playlist to shuffle. Cha-cha, real smooth. And you probably can't hear it because I need to switch over the audio. There we go. Probably turn that down a little bit too, just so it's background. All right. Perfect, we got some music going. And back to it. All right, we just finished 8 and we're working on number 9. Number 9 hinge. Number 9 top camera. Max our velocities. Grab our Gatling guns. Enable AI, bump the range, lock rockets. And that is good. All right, number 9's completed. On to 10. I think, is this one already filled? Yeah, this is gonna be 10. My phones will not shut up. No, I don't care, World of Warships. Go away. Leave forever. Alright, I think that's it for number 10. We've got... Oh, no, we need to get the Gatlings for it. Alright, now we're good. Done with number 10. Okay, so now we go to the other side. And we'll have 11 and 12 to do, and then we'll be done. Alright, so 11 and 12 should be up here. That's our Gatling one. Wait a minute. Did we ever find a spot to put 12? Okay. Okay, so this is 11. And then 12 will be right next to it here. Eleven. Bing, bong, bong. Set up. 11. Shoot. No shoot. And she's done. Alright, and then on to 12, and then we'll be done with the setup for the turrets. And I'd say probably, you know, and you know, it's only been like an hour. It's pretty good actually. I was expecting it to take longer than this, so I'm pretty happy with how things are going. Because the setting up these things is never a short process. I know people have made scripts and stuff for it, but I couldn't be bothered. Let's see here. All right. Just to double check, we've got one, two, three, four, five. Or no, sorry, those are the wrong ones. We're looking at the RDCs, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 10, 11, 12. Perfect. Alright, so next we're going to save this thing because it's been a minute and I don't want to lose all that progress to something stupid. So we're going to leave here. We're just going to take a nice little blueprint of our current progress. Alright, so now that I've saved it, we're going to go through, turn off all of the locks, and maybe sail this thing over and intercept something. So, Oops, no, that's not what I wanted. Hinge. All the RDC hinges. Turn off those locks. Get all of the advanced rotors. Unlock those. And then we should be ready to rock. I'm gonna make sure, let's see, basically everything RDC related is hidden for now. Because there's a lot of garbage there. There's some RDC mags that could bear to be filled. But we're just gonna hide all this stuff. Bam, okay. So now there's just the groups for the weapons. And that should all be good. Gonna take another save just because I'm slightly paranoid. Alright. Time to put her to the test here. Easiest way would just be, I don't know. Let's grab a Pandanus here and put her out at the outer range of the missiles. Well, that's not even close. Alright. We'll leave this ship well alone and teleport over to maybe not actually. Let me there's an easy way to test this. Damage is turned off, so this shouldn't be a problem. And we'll be able to see how things are working. We'll just turn this one to unfriendly mode, and then we'll have our answer on whether things are working out. Actually, let me double check the damage is turned off real quick. Yep, okay. Alright, and immediately you can see we've got all these turrets are working. And of course our custom turrets, our other ones, are also working as well. Let's unstation this real quick and start kicking her around. Look at that. That's beautiful. Alright. Let's unstation this and see. Alright, so it's looking to me like things are functioning just fine. Let's try rolling over, seeing how the other turrets do. Make sure all of the RDCs can get a chance here. Looks pretty good. I think we've got full RDC utilization here. Just about. I'm rather pleased. Yeah, this thing needs more roll gyroscopes really bad. She rolls really slow, which isn't great. Yeah, that looks pretty awesome. Alright. Actually, you know what? I've already got saves of this. Let's just turn on damage. Oh, there goes one of our assault cannons. Seems some of our custom turrets are already going crazy, which may indicate that our AI core has been breached. Give her a fresh side here. Alright. I think probably out of the way enough. Alright, so let's survey the damage here, because obviously there's a lot of it. Was our AI core breached? That's the question. It looks like yes, but it was from an area that wasn't protected. So that checks out. Ooh, or that happened. Alright, so that's not great. That behavior is also not great. I see. So we're gonna have to reinforce this a little more, just to make sure that that kind of stuff doesn't happen. But yeah, once the cap is on this, this room should stay pretty safe. I think that it did get to quite a few of our... Or no, most of these are fine. 2 of them did get destroyed, and those would probably be... Well, if they're still shooting, but that's probably the ones. Of course, these guys will just end up shooting randomly, too. I need to have an auto shut off for those. I'll be right back. 1 second. Alrighty, I've returned. Yeah, we're gonna have to, on the full model, set up a system to make sure these don't just keep blasting off into random directions. They're supposed to shut off with timers. But sometimes the timers don't work because Space Engineers is funny like that. It's really something. But anyway, yeah, we're gonna have to work out depression angles for these turrets too. The forward hydrogen section actually looks pretty okay. We did lose a couple, probably dead to this hit here. That probably would have fixed them. No. More than that apparently, but still. Not huge amount of damage on the front here. Of course, this was a pretty brief engagement. Okay, let's sneak back into here. I don't know if it was something with the thruster. It doesn't look like it. May have been a skill issue. Or perhaps one of these? No, those are all fine. Okay, so those thrusters should be firing, but they just aren't because reasons. They're probably back on now that I've said that. Yeah, let's check. Yeah, they're back on. Okay. Overall though, the only issue I can see is that a lot of the firepower of the enemy ship is usually concentrated in this area due to the high, amount of stuff, and then also these turrets are behaving badly. So that's not ideal. The hinges shouldn't even go that low, so I'm not entirely sure how that happened. Yeah, so one of the things I am going to have to go and do is probably do custom angles for all the hinges and the rotors for most of these turrets. That one's just gone. Yikes. I think, yeah, that happened again. I may have to redesign my assault cannon turrets at some point because they're cool, but they're not like quite what I'm looking for, I think, for a lot of this. But anyhow, overall, I'm happy with that. So I'm gonna just get rid of everything. And all of the floating objects. Alright, so we're back to me in my own body and not floating in space. Alright, so this is our ship. Our next step is, I suppose, going to be to, well, we're going to turn off damage again because that's not great. We're going to have a actually, you know what? I think I know how to do this to fix the I believe it's this reset one that is the troublemaker. this does not always trigger. So what I'm thinking is it might be in the actual controller. We may just get all of these and just make the angle deviation smaller. So maybe like 2. And that may actually fix a lot of our issues. Of course, they also both need to be on trigger now. It's only 10 of them to check, so it shouldn't take too long. Of course, I've had these issues before, so I really don't know what the issue is. I feel like maybe every once in a while I need to just reset all the turret controllers, like turn them off and on again. They all look fine though, so it might just have to be a manual, like every once in a while all the turrets just snap reset. That probably wouldn't be too hard to set up. Like just maybe like once a minute or once every 30 seconds or something. Just click, click, on, off. They'll probably still end up targeting the same stuff they were before. And it might leave a small gap in the firepower, but personally I think that's a risk I'm willing to take. For the sake of actually having the turrets work properly. The other question is, why do these things keep blowing up? Why does all of our food keep blowing up? And the answer to that is probably because these are all on a lot of light armor. And, well, they've got a lot of assault cannon shells in them. I might even consider beefing those up or something like that. But right now they kind of cause funny to occur. Here, I'll demonstrate. We're gonna throw one of these over here. We're gonna absolutely blast the turn on damage real quick. Allow damage. Then we're going to remove this. Grind it down a little bit. And blast it. Now that didn't seem to do as much damage as I thought it would. I mean, that actually I suppose that did put some serious holes around here. And it blew off a lot of the superstructure. I wonder if it's one of these side turrets that's blowing up the other one. I'm gonna try and do it with the turret still mostly intact here. Alright, that should be a one-shot. Probably. Come on. There it goes. Okay, so that caused a fair bit more damage. Oh. That's pretty cool. Oh my. Yeah, I don't think anything's getting through this defense grid. I'm just saying, man. I may just remove the super firing turret. Cut down on the total amount of secondary guns this thing has, because it's clear to me that this is not... These are not ideal turrets. No way. Maybe I should just make a smaller, less complicated assault cannon turret, which would probably result in better performance and less detonation, but at the same time it's tough because, well, I'd have to go redo them all. Which I could do. I could certainly do that. Oh. Did that? No shot, really? I clearly need to armor up around these more just to protect the ship from them detonating, because it's a local magazine kind of thing. Whereas if these little RDCs detonate, it's like, who cares? But if something like this goes... you know... Man, it takes a long time to break these armor panels. The damage is so inconsistent, too. The way they handle damage in this game with blasts is very weird and a little quirky. Like, what happens if I just destroy one of the guns? So that didn't really do much. That took the rest of these down to like, what, 50%? So what if I do this one? Okay, now those two are ready to go, I think, probably. No. Dude, I love these hitboxes. Hitboxes? Never heard of her. Whatever. So that really didn't do all that I thought it would. Anyhow, it's clear to me that having that much ammo in these turrets is a problem, but I'm not sure exactly how I should limit the ammo present in these turrets to be only what is required and not like all of it. Because obviously it would help to not... Oh, did I disallow damage again? Alright, we're just gonna remove everything. Anyhow, there's still much work to be done. The new flares are really cool. They can light up a lot of area really well. Like, that's just crazy how much light they produce. Anyway. Whew. Clearly putting that much ammo in these turrets is a bad idea when they're not as protected. But I don't really... It's hard to say the extent of that, you know? Needless, let's go to the hinges for the assault cannons. Because they clearly don't need, well, that much. $15. Alright, let's... And the upper limit? 80. Now actually I think that's fine. Because, to be honest, having them able to aim almost straight up is quite useful. But the gun depression obviously could be a problem if it starts trying to look at its own ship, which is obviously a problem I have with heavy railgun turrets, because they keep doing that. So we're going to go back to the hinge. But I don't need caps lock on. Quick firing assault cannons. We're actually going to limit them to only 20. Did I allow damage? Did I just triple check that? Yeah, we're good. My thing paused. Unpause the music. Alright. Back to it. RDCs are all clearly working properly. Let's get these assault cannons back under control. Alright. Let's also make sure that they're not staring into space. We're going to make sure they're all the way up. Angle them all the way down. And just bring them back to 0. There we go. Now we're going to go for all of our assault cannon rotors. These guys need some angle limits. I'm going to set the lower limit -120 and the upper limit at 120. So if we were then to per se rotate the thing, am I only just doing one? Oops. Okay. Now we're gonna rotate all of them. Or I'm going to attempt to. You know, I should probably do this from a central, not on the turret one. Just to... Okay, so this appears to be an issue, so let's see. This is so that's actually correct for 120, I believe. Or no, they're just hitting things. Brilliant. Oh. Cool turret, thank you. This is one of the problems with custom turrets, is that they'll just do this to your ship. Especially ones that are not using scripts or anything. They will just try to chew on your ship. Actually, I'm just going to grab a... build and repair and just slap it on. Alright. Build and repair is going to build and repair. I don't think we'll have any other... I'm just going to check around just in case. Because sometimes these little custom turrets get all trigger happy and start erasing things from existence. Because for some reason friendly fire does not include Gatling gun projectiles, probably because they don't count as rockets. which is silly, but whatever. Clearly, we're going to need some different adjustments. For our assault cannon turrets here. We're going to actually set this to be only 100 degrees of movement in each direction. Which means a bit, you know, a bit proud of proper yeah, that should work. I won't be able to get into too much trouble. Limited like that. Alright. Next thing. Well, returning them, I suppose. To a somewhat straight position. That'll be good enough. Some of them will be off a little bit, but that's fine. Alright, next is these, I suppose. So let's see here. We're not going to give the RDCs any movement restrictions here, although they actually do have problems. So let me go back to the rotors, because technically our RDCs, we're going to let them have full reign over their rotation, but not over their pitch, of course. So obviously we don't want any rotation limits on these guys, because that will limit the effectiveness of our grid. And then we're also going to want hinge. We're probably just going to limit the gun depression available on most of them. It's 30, doesn't need to be that much, it's 20 is fine. 88 up though is perfectly acceptable. These guys should now have full freedom of movement, at least to a point. And that'll be good enough. They don't need more than that. Full rotation is good. Unless you wanted to, of course, just go in and set custom, you know, no fire zones. Like maybe you wanted to block off, I don't know, like this area here. Like this angle. You could probably do that. But that's something I would not like to do, actually. So, yep, we're just going to deal with any potential damage that causes to the ship in combat, but for now, that's how it will work. Now moving on to our big boys here. We're going to go, let's just go back to the faux bridge and see what we can do from there. I believe that at most, maybe 120 degrees of movement. But we'll have to see. These heavy railgun turrets have currently no limitations. So let's do a little bit of limiting here. We'll go for 120 degrees and see if that's enough. I think once we're done with the turrets, we'll probably want to try... I think because there's so few of these, we could actually do custom turret limits for these. This one, that's clearly the perfect angle. So I think this is turret 6, or maybe 5. Let's check. Yeah, turret 3, okay. I think that's right. I think I did 1, 2, 3 going back. So turret number 1 we can give up to, I think 140 is probably fine. Yeah, we'll give number 1 here up to 140. That should be fine. This guy clearly slightly less, so let's go for maybe 110. Because it can hit 120, but it's clearly not happy about it. So we'll limit that one to 110. Let's go check on the bottom turrets here. This one can obviously get that full 140. And this seems to be 120 seems to be perfect for this one. Not going to limit that. This one can actually get more. I think maybe not 140, but 130 seems fine for this one. I'm just doing this in 10-degree increments just because it's simpler that way. That should be pretty good. We're going to reset all of them to their forward positions, at least somewhat, and then we're going to do some elevation testing. All right. That looks pretty good. Let's try seeing how those hinges react. I see. Lower limit, we're just going to set that to, what, 15? It's probably too much. Upper limit, 85. Or no, why not just 80? Doesn't need that much elevation. I see, they can only elevate to 59 anyway. Alright, let's set those down to 55 then. That seems fine. And then let's see. 13 to 6. Probably wouldn't want too much more than that. 15 actually does seem proper, because once you're looking over the side, it should be a little bit higher, but... Perfect. So that should be all good for those turrets. That should be properly, mapped out well enough for them to all work. I still feel like I should perhaps remove the central turret here. I don't know if it's strictly useful, which is unfortunate, but I really don't think having these turrets so close is a good idea. A little space, I think would be nice for this turret. So I'm kind of hovering on whether or not to actually remove that turret. Or whether or not I should just try and find a way to underload the magazines. Because it's clear to me that these poor little turrets really get trounced and then explode instantly, so that's not fantastic, not a great outcome, if I had to say. I don't feel like it would be too big of a hit to the firepower, because most of the firepower is coming from these anyway. This is just to deal with small craft. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to save the current ship. And then I'm going to remove that and see how it looks afterwards. See if I like it. Okay, so now we've removed that. We can get rid of some of this garbage here. Put a piece of armor. This should also actually lighten the ship a fair bit, because there's a lot of armor that goes into these mounts. Not that it does it particularly much good, as you probably saw in the testing. But this is going to end up in a much lighter ship as well, so like if it saves a few tons, it saves a few tons. And hopefully this will actually mean that they'll be in action a little longer, because I've noticed that whenever I do testing with this thing, they're packed so close together that they kind of have like this cascading failure effect where one of them blows up and then the other two are short to follow. So if I just patch this up completely, see how I like it. Here and here. There we go. So how do I feel about this? It doesn't look bad. It is going to give those two turrets a much better arc. So we'll probably still have similar amounts of firepower, at least outside of the directly forward engagement. I don't know, it just seems like it will work just fine. Oh. Didn't notice that. I hope that's not one of those shapes you just can't fill. Oh, it is. Ooh. We're gonna ignore that we saw that at all. Didn't happen, guys. Okay. Yeah, okay, just to compare. I'm gonna move the sun a little bit. Alright. I don't really think it loses too much in terms of looking the part. These two are far apart enough from each other to not cause too much problem, I think. And these guys should do really good, so. Having two of these ships next to each other causes some, I don't know if you can see that, but the frame rate kind of drops a little bit. Yeah, I think this ship's better. It's gonna live longer even without that other turret. So now I just have to figure out which turrets I removed so I can get rid of their turret controllers. This is 6. This is probably what? 4? So 5 is probably there. Let's see if let's check if number 5 is doing hot here. I believe this is, no, it's 9. 8. Can actually put other things in this room too, because this will be removing 2 blocks from basically the funny AI core in the ship. So $12, $4. Or actually, you know what? Some of these will just have been disappeared completely. Like, it looks like quick firing assault cannon number 1 is gone, and number 2. Yep. And 1? Yep, 1 was the other one. Okay. Oh, hi, kitty. Oh. Alright, guys, you ready? Cat cam? Here, let's, Hi, kitty. Meow, says kitty. Meow. There we are. Let me grab this cat. Hi there. Come here. Ooh. Look at this cat. Look at this big cat. Meow. Hi. Cat. Oh. Say hi to audience, cat. Alright. Time to put down the cat. There you go. You can sit on that chair. Alright. Cat cam concluded. Back to working on this ship. Alright. So, we now know which two turret controllers can go. Oh, is damage still allowed? Did all the Gatling guns shoot at something? Why, yes, they did. Okay. I thought I disallowed damage. That's right, Gatling guns still cause things to deform. Gatling guns. Why must they be such a nuisance? I feel like I need to just run... What? I disallowed damage. What is this? Okay, that's what's supposed to be there, and that's what's missing. Goodness, I hate sometimes how much these custom turrets just disregard friendly fire. In all honesty, it's quite a plague on just using them generally, but they're so useful that like you end up living with it. I should probably just run one of these all the time on my builds right up until I upload, because there's no doubt a lot of little spots that get hit. Yeah, damage should be off, so we'll see about that, but, you know, whatever. Oh yeah, I don't even think... Yeah, okay. So having that middle turret gone is definitely an improvement. Let's see here. But you know what we could put in right in between here? That'd be kind of fun. A little observation deck. And of course, since this is a vertically oriented ship, it has to be vertically oriented as well. But that could actually be quite cool if we indent this by a block, like a whole block maybe. This isn't even going to interfere with really any of the turret's lines of fire, which is going to be nice for actually having it not be a hindrance. Put some catwalks out. Hi, cat. Meow. Yeah? Okay, I hear you. I hear you. 1 second. This cat is yelling. I'm going to take this kitty, this yelling kitty. I'm going to let this yelling kitty out. Go forth. Yell in different places. Alright. Cat deposited. Back to building. You know what? I should put a ladder. Oh, this is facing the wrong way. I'm a bit of an idiot. Okay. We actually don't need that. This is actually going to be really cool. All right. We feasibly actually could have an external ladder that goes up to a higher area on the ship. Maybe that runs right along here. And starts right here. I think that would work. Adds to the external greebling. Oh yeah, I need the, where is it? There it is. Scaffold. Yeah, these are super cool. I don't get to use them super often, but they are really nice to have. Because you can do stuff like this with them. Like that. And then, as long as you cover up the bottom, you're basically good. Unsure as to how that's going to work in this case. I guess that will do fine. And then I can essentially do this. And then we'll have that. We can keep the catwalk all the way out to here. And then we'll have some external access, or more external access rather, on the ship, which is kind of cool. I really do think it's one of those things that people don't put in their ships enough. Not that like it's required necessarily, but it's just like cool. Like, I don't know. Like, that's just neat. Right? Like that. That's cool. We can have a little bit of basically like what I did up there. And then we put a door right in here. Simple as. This is probably going to have the most doors to the inside and outside of it that any of my current ships have. It's going to be so cool for it. Like, just having all these external ladderways is really, really cool, I think. Is it going to affect the practical use of this ship? No. Is it going to make me happy? Yes. We've got another such access way along here. There we go. Sorry, messing with some wires here. There we go. And then it's essentially going up along this, right? So I'm gonna have to just carve that back to there. And just do this like that. Alright. I do wonder how close to being pressurized this ship is. I'd imagine a lot of the like most of the hull parts should be sealed. Oh. Let's take a quick copy of the ship real quick, just so, who are we shooting at? Oh. The rust freighter got within range. And there go the assault cannon turrets blasting away. I don't think it's going to stay together too long. Oh, yeah, especially not the railguns engaging. Dare say there's probably not much left of it. Oh yeah, look at this thing. It's just a floating Hulk at this point. Man, that's brutal. Bonkers. Yep. Absolutely bonking. Oh, they're still blasting. Gosh, that looks so cool with the high graphics on and with the rendering mods that I'm running. That looks sick. Okay, but unfortunately these things are stuck on as usual. You can see they're laying down a pretty mean beating zone over there. But, of course, we really don't want that, so we're gonna go to get all of the reset, and we're just going to trigger all of those. Okay. Also, what on earth? There we go. Any damage I sustained from literally firing at the enemy? No, no, we're good. Good. Bzzzt. Gosh, I love this thing. It's so cool already. Oh wow, even the main battery turrets were trying to get in on the action. Look at that over here. Yep. Oh yeah, I need to turn this on too. It's a little target identifier. I think its hinges are locked. No? Did I just not turn it on? Probably the one that's just camera, right? Is the LiDAR receiver hinge? And the rotor. And we're just gonna bump those up way much. There we go. This thing should work great now. Oh, perfect. Yeah, that's good. And then it should also lights, spotlight on, off. Probably misspelled illuminator just now, but whatever. So this little mean guy should, when activated, whip its head towards any target in the area and turn on its little light. Without any human intervention. Oh yeah, I need to fix those. Because whoopsie daisy. Alright. Okay. So what I need to do is I need to rotate it, yeah. Like that. And of course take out its eye. And make it vertical again. Oh, oops. Step 1, attach a new panel to it. Or something with a terminal. Whoopsie daisy. Come on. I've got a terminal around here somewhere. That'll do. Teos Mark II. Those are on override. Okay, that should be working. azimuth, we're gonna want, oh, that's good. In fact, actually, we're gonna probably want even more. We're gonna want like 87, probably. Elevation, we'll go for 87 as well. We're gonna hinge lock both of them. There we go. And we're gonna stick a camera on it. After we restore that little guy. Perfect. All right. Just with 2 in front of it, I see. I'll stick it over here. But then I'll just put 2 in there. Is it awkward looking? Yes. Is it going to be totally perfect? Absolutely, totally perfect. All right. All right. Get our absolutely spectacular desk. Don't ask why it's called the desk. I wouldn't tell you if I knew. Actually, I do know. I still won't tell you. Yeah, let's just, oh. Whoa, wait, is this a station? Bro. That's wild, okay. Step 1. We're gonna stick a battery on it, I guess. And unstation it. Perfect. We're gonna do that for the other one as well. Now I truly am a goofy goober. Alright. Alright, now we can begin the operation. Perfect. Perfect. Alright, now I just need to rebind their custom turrets and we should be good. Teos Mark II. This is 2-2 Azimuth. And now we're looking for 2-2 elevation. I'm gonna have AI off, of course. This is just going to be Teos Mark II, Azimuth, Teos Mark II, that's 2-2 elevation, and Teos Mark II camera. And this should all be technically correct, I think. And those should be able to be used now. So, that's good. Because before, I had the hinges switched, basically, so it did a weird thing. Where did you get the idea for this design? Okay, so, sorry if you commented a bit ago. I only just saw it, but the way I got an inspiration for this design was the last ship I built, or I guess the first ship in the series, the Pandanus, which is technically also part of the last ship series, but I've sort of recolored into a new fleet. So this here, the Pandanus, was inspired by, in turn, the cover ship for Falling Frontier. So if I that's not a huge picture. Let's find a nice big picture of it. Nope, that's a very small picture of it. We're going to pause our industrial dark synth for a second, and we're going to go right straight to the trailer for it. One second. Here. I think it's this one. Yeah, it's these here. Let me stream my screen real quick. Just go for display capture. That'll work. So this here is the Pandanus, essentially. Even I tried to replicate the ship basically as close as I could. And of course this ship is in turn inspired more by sort of modern naval ships. And so you can see how all these different design elements sort of transferred into. Let's watch the flip and burn sequence. It's super cool. But you can see how all these different like little design elements sort of transferred into what I'm doing with my ships now. Because this, just seeing this for the first time, was just so striking to me. I'm like, these are some of the coolest looking ships I've ever seen. And so, obviously, let's start the synth again. There we go. So, obviously, quite heavy inspiration on the Pandanus. And then the Pandanus then turned into essentially the rest of the fleet. So the Familian, and these are all ships have not made videos on yet and released other than the Pandanus. Because, you know, I've been having some trouble with uploading things to the Steam Workshop, which is definitely where I want to have this next series. And then the Ollie here. These ships kind of carried on. These next two kind of carried on the same sort of design elements, and especially the sort of navalized aesthetic. They're all built to utilize TO's combat tweaks mod with these nice torpedo launchers and the weapons tweaks that are provided as basically just a rebalancing. But you can see here we've got torpedoes on this one. This one actually has no torpedoes, but it does have one of these larger, you know, railgun turrets, which is present on the battleship here. So I'm kind of just building like a capstone for this fleet composition. Technically, because that I finished it, I'm just named Vicephine right now, but technically because that I finished this during the this fleet sort of building, I'm also going to count this scaled down Truman that I made as part of it, although it obviously does not really fit in quite as well with the rest of the fleet. And that's actually where these turrets came from, is I built these first for this ship, and then I put them onto these other ships because I'm trying to standardize certain turrets across the fleet, like these RDCs. These RDC turrets are actually standardized across every ship in the fleet. Here as the standard point defense weaponries. With the exception of this thing, because this thing was built mostly before I'd done this current fleet series. So it's still using these ball turrets. Technically more effective, but way less cool, I think, than my own design. And of course, one of the other standard, or at least turret standards I'm trying to run onto is getting a good standardized artillery turret, which is being used currently on my sort of, I guess you'd classify this as what, like maybe a destroyer or something. It's got these sort of mid-tier light weapons. That's really like a, I don't know, maybe a, what would you call this? It's got big guns, but it's a small ship. I guess you'd just call that maybe a bombardment corvette. I don't know. Whatever that thing is, it's sort of like a patrol ship with some hot stuff on board. And of course, this is sort of middle of the pack in terms of weaponry, kinetically anyway, with these turrets. And then you get to this thing with 6 of these really big octuple railgun turrets. And 8 of these smaller assault cannon turrets, accompanied by 12 PDCs, or RDCs rather. I can see the evolution in your designs. Very top tier integration of weaponry. Well, thank you. Yeah, I think that the really trying to less going for like overwhelming crazy amounts of firepower, just packing everything with guns. like I used to do. It's cool sometimes, but I think that the naval aesthetic is much cooler. So like the Isopod, still one of my absolute favorite ships. Let's just grab the quintessential, not the Mark V, the Mark III. Mark III's not a weird prototype. You can see this ship, which is absolutely more effective. You can just tell because of, well, the way it's shaped, how much armor it's got, the amount of guns strapped to it, the fact that it has a huge nose full of rail guns. Not as full as a lot of other ships, but it has them, you know. The way this, power pack looks. It's extremely optimized, kind of, and utilitarian, kind of brutalist. It doesn't have a ton of interior space. It's a cool ship, but it's not quite my speed in terms of what I want to see in a ship. I think that this kind of ship with fewer guns, a more distinctive hull shape that's not just designed around whatever the components that I put down first, and then with TO's combat tweaks, makes for a much more engaging experience, I think. And a really, really fun kind of fighting style, I guess, because you're just at range, mostly slinging missiles and railgun rounds from these little turrets, right? And trying not to get smacked, essentially. And because the TO pushes, ranges out to much further, like 5 kilometers even, for most of the heavier stuff, you can really reach out and touch somebody, especially with the torpedoes. And it actually makes it so that spin to win is less ideal with these mods active, because the missiles don't care whether you're spin to winning; they're gonna hit you in the face, and your guns will actually be less accurate intercepting them if you're inducing a lot of acceleration while you're trying to defend yourself. So, yeah, it's certainly a new and refreshing, Space Engineers kind of sub-meta, because I think that it's not like over-the-top crazy. Like, sure, the nuclear torpedoes do absolutely devastating damage, but they're really easy to take out. All the advantages that are offered by the range and stuff are all tempered by drawbacks. Like, you don't actually get a huge bump in accuracy for getting all that range. That's just one of the things, It's easier to dodge at those extreme ranges, so you're firing ammunition for less gain than you otherwise would. The railguns also, they have higher damage, but they eat up like twice as much power. They consume twice as much power to fire, but they do reload faster as well. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. This little gunboat has a big railgun in it. But yeah, another thing about this series of ships is they're all vertically oriented inside. So all the decks are in line with the engines beneath your feet. Like in the Expanse, basically. So all your decks are like this. I've also taken to color coding a lot of them, which I quite like. Yeah, so basically the Pandanus started it off, and then it went on from there, and I'm just kind of completing it out the other way, rather than getting smaller, getting bigger with it for once. And it should look pretty gnarly and awesome when it's done. I already really like how the front turned out, just the overall profile of it. But like having this big thruster bank at the front like this looks super cool, just like it did on the Pandanus, and like it did on the Falling Frontier stuff. The big bell-shaped engine at the back. While we can't exactly replicate the power output of an engine that big in Space Engineers, we can certainly make some cool-looking bell shapes. And of course, having this much space to do it just means you can really lean into shaping it nicely. And I think it did an okay job on that. You can still see some of the thrusters poking through, just like on the Pandanus, which is of course not ideal, but it's one of the sacrifices you have to take for making the shape look like that and still have that many engines in it. So you can kind of, yeah, you can see how that ended up. But yeah, so it's really just putting a capstone on the whole fleet. And when this is done, like, I might make, I don't know, maybe some support ships and stuff after that, but I think for the most part the fleet's going to be done, and it's going to be moving on to more of an actual workshop release, getting my workshop figured out, all that. Because I do want to upload these ships, it's just, you know, it's tough, because stupid Steam is being a butthead, so, yeah. But anyway, not going to worry about these guys till a fair bit later. Because what we need to do on this is we need to, at this point, I think we're on to, oh yeah, I got to test the turrets I just fixed. Should probably add a gravity generator in here just to, or two, since it's kind of a long ship, I guess. Yeah, let's see, let's add a gravity gen somewhere in here. Oh yeah, and I need to take out the two turret controllers that I'm not using now. One and two, okay. And I can probably replace those with timers. Alright, so, yes, I still need to test out the other two turrets. That's right, they're the Teos. And they should be able to... Alright, so I'm going to save the ship real quick. We're going to hop in, turn this thing into a ship, convert to ship. Alright, and now I think what we got to do... Oh, that's right. The hinges are locked. Gotta unlock these hinges real quick. Bing! Okay. Okay. Left, right could use more sensitivity. Up, down is backwards. We're actually going to just make this change to both. So this is actually both simultaneously, I should say. Azimuth needs, or actually not, that's right, I'd be changing it in here. Azimuth elevation minus 18. All right, and then hopefully that changed both of them and didn't screw anything else up. Okay, good. Oh yeah, that's much better. So this can now be used to actually look around. And then one of the things I want to do with these is to make the gyroscopes. Good, they're on override. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to make the hinges weak. Because if I make the hinges weak, then, like, let's go down to, let's just take a 0 off of there. Actually, it'll only be stabilized side to side now that I think about it. Never mind, it won't even be that. The original idea was that you'd have gyroscopes to keep, oh, see you around, King Christopher. The original idea is you'd have gyroscopes that basically keep the orientation of the turret while you're moving around so that you can kind of like look back at it and it'll be pointing relatively close to the same direction, but it seems that it's just not going to work, so they're just going to operate like normal cameras. So, yep. Oof. We're just going to put these back at 200,000 kilonewtons. Yep. All right. Well, that's fine. This one. All right. All right, back again. That's perfect, though. Okay. I think next we'll start working on some torpedoes or something. That seems good. Okay. Time to get our torpedo brains on here. Actually, I have some schematics I was thinking of putting together for a torpedo. Let me see if I can find it in my notebook. Oh. That probably won't work, but we'll see. That was a merge block at the bottom? Weird. I'm like looking at this design going, what the heck was I thinking? It's an ion 1-for-1, so that's not a great performance. Oh. Of course, it doesn't have to be even long. Just has to make it through a door, basically. So could be any shape you want. Where did I end up sticking it? Suppose. That could work. Do.
probably doesn't need that many. Or does it? Be more fuel efficient, I suppose.
Hmm. Is this a future torpedo? Yes, it is. What I'm building right now is essentially a torpedo for this thing. And hopefully a vanilla torpedo that I can add to a lot of my ships, with any luck, anyway. It should be pretty good, hopefully. We'll see. Yeah. It's a work in progress. Hmm. Not used for parking. Alright, so this thing, and it'll have a certain amount of effectiveness, considering it's got all those blaster chunks. Of course, I could probably bear to replace these with more blasters, actually. Alright, it's got thrust in all directions now. Perhaps the recorder's not what I want. Perhaps there's a basic task one that I can have it do that will achieve the same effect. Star Wars brick rigs. Let's just have that. I think the timer is an event controller, and there should be a timer on board. Event. Connector ready to lock. Hmm. Alright, well, that's a bad idea because I can't weld it. Okay, well, there's another way to do this. first one is a basic task. Yeah, okay. I've got this. So basically everything on this missile turns on at the same time that the missile disconnects. And that should not have any logic conflictions, so that should be good. And then, essentially, we use thruster damage as a timer. So we monitor the health condition of this block, and then we'll have an event controller that will then turn off our basic task. When the event controller reaches a certain amount of health. And that's our, and then from there on it's operating on the combat, because what the event controller will do is it will turn off the combat, and then it will turn on the it will turn off the combat one, or no, sorry, it'll turn on the combat one, it'll turn off the basic task one. And then the missile will be on its own guidance all the way to the target. Five, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And we've got 3 blocks worth of payload. If we're gonna have this a 2 deep thing. Or even less. Actually, yeah, we'll just go with a full-size payload. That'll have to do. The more important part now is the launching mechanism, which we'll have to come off of here, of course. And then I suppose, oh, you know what we could try? No, that'd be too volatile. This will do. The real question is, can it be welded? And my guess is probably. I don't know. We'll have to see. That's the launch rail. Only 2 blocks of forward thrust, but that really should be enough. Hmm. Hmm. That's a thought. Okay. Alright, so one thought is we've got a full 5x5 available. We could put, theoretically, a large connector somewhere in here. That's tough, but not impossible. And it's probably just better off we use a normal system here. Okay, so there's our launch hardware. Basically, on board there's the event controller. The event controller is looking for block integrity percentage, and we're gonna make sure that is on our merge block. On our burner merge block. We're actually going to make sure that every single part of this thing is named properly to separate it out. So this is all missile Chasm 2 missile Chasm Mark III missile. Alright, offensive combat off, behavior on, or maybe it just, yeah, okay. And then intercept, target prediction, probably go for power systems, or maybe propulsion. That's probably a more reliable killer. Override collision avoidance. Yes, okay. Now, closest, largest. And then this one, speed limit, of course. Minimum altitude. 90 meters? I don't know. Let's go for 30. I don't even know if this thing can fly in atmosphere yet. Okay. And then where's our basic task? Okay. Follow player. Now we want that to follow home. Minimum range from home is like 1,500. Maximum range from home 2,000. Oh no, that's a thought too. But no, we don't want. Oh wow, that's a. No, we'll just do this normal. All right, and so this, we're gonna want that on. That could actually be a problem though, because it won't know what home is if it's just been printed up. Shoot. This would be so much easier to do with the script, but I'm not going to do that. I want this all vanilla as much as I can. No, that's stupid. Here's why it's stupid. Because you know what I can do? Yeah, it's very stupid. Okay. So, this little guy up here gets swapped out. We're gonna... Yeah, okay. So this guy here gets swapped out. What we want is we want a battery on this side and it gets in slots. Yeah, there it is. 7. A merge block on this side. Happy-go-lucky merge block. Merge block 3 as it is. I'm gonna rename because
So now perfect. Okay. So once lasers here, turret lasers finished firing. Okay. All's good. Okay. So now we've basically re-put that there. Ow. Yeah, obviously there's no damage, but anyway, we're just gonna replace that with an ion thruster. Bing! And now the whole thing will work, because what we'll basically do is we'll have that ion thruster set to be always on. So when the thing clicks on, it'll have thrust that is constantly going, but also a bunch of thrust that is not beholden to the override, and therefore the turret can actually, or not the turret, but the custom controller can actually use it. Okay. Bam. All right. It might mean that we need another battery, though, which isn't fantastic. It does mean we don't need this, though, so I can just replace that with a battery. All right. That's it. Like, that's actually it. Essentially, the only thing, because basically we just turn everything off on this ship. Outside of the we're also gonna hide all these. Alright, so essentially that turns on, all the rest of the thrusters turn on, these two turn on, because they're going to be off at the moment. This thing unlocks. None of them are used for parking. Hmm. Oh yeah, and these will be set to stockpile. Hmm. Hmm. I'm going to be puzzling at this for hours. I'm going to just stop the stream here. All right. You guys all have a good day. And I'll see you guys later.